Great. A warm good evening to fellow Toastmasters of District 120. It's a pleasure to host you all for yet another informative and insightful TLA event. This is our 49th TLA event of this year, and I'm very happy to be and serve you as the TLA chair. With that said, today we have a very special event where all of us are in the contest season and we are all we want to prep and we want to become the better version of ourselves. And today's session, it'll definitely help you because we have our champions from our district who will be helping and sharing their experience in facing the contest and how they had their journey. Today's session, we have the agenda. First, we'll be having the address from the trio. Then we have a very wonderful moderator who will be driving this panel discussion. We have our champions with us who will be answering all the questions and also will be taking the questions from the audience as well. And finally, we'll be concluding the session. First, I'd like to call upon our uh, Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mohankrishnan. To introduce him, Distinguished Toastmaster Mohankrishnan is an engineering graduate having 15 years of experience in software industry, currently working as Principal Product Manager in Gen Digital, a passionate public speaker, an avid traveler having traveled to 20 plus countries. The first member to achieve Pathways Distinguished Toastmaster in District 120, created the first of its kind membership dues calculator for clubs and members. He has served as the conference chair for the annual conference of Division I Illuminate 2018, served as the assistant division director program quality, served as the area director, served as the division director of Division A, served as the club growth director, currently serving as the Program Quality Director of District 120. Let's welcome our Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mohankrishnan. Over to you, Mohan. Mohan, you're on here.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Toastmaster Abdul TLI Chair. Hi, everyone who has taken your time to join this TLI session. Is it just a TLI session? No, the 49th TLI session. What a number it is. And I'm really excited for the 50th session that we're looking forward for. And what does it mean? That's how much of knowledge we have that we want to share to our members. And that's the reason we have this number of 49 here. So if you have, even for this session, if you think your club member is someone who is aspiring to be a champion, who wants to contest, who has no clue about contest, still want to know something about it, please ping them immediately, ask them to join. Right? So something that we did last term, with Speak Like a Champion is, we brought in a couple of Alexon Matt and another is 2022 finalist Percy for humorous and evaluation. And this time, we thought it's also important to have a session with our own champions, and that's where this session is. Session took place and then took shape, and then we are having it today. First of all, thank you so much to all the champions, Selva, Sham, and then Karthik, for taking your time and being here to share the knowledge, the expertise, and everything that you're going to do today and being here. Thank you. And all the members I see, I keep admitting, I'm sure Abdul is admitting a lot of people continuously, which shows the interest of people towards this session. So contest, what does contest mean to me? I love running contest. I've been a conference chair, contest chair, everything. I've been a contestant. Yes, there was one time, of course, multiple times in club and area. There was one time where I've been a division contestant, and I realized that is totally a different league altogether. I have done MC in front of 2,000 people, but doing or standing in front of 300 people or 500 people for a contest is something totally different, and that needs guts. And probably one of the reasons why I decided, okay, probably contest is not my thing. Let me get into leadership. Yeah. So that's again my thing, and But I've always enjoyed being part of a contest, running a contest, helping out the contestants, role plays, everything. So I'm also here to learn a lot of things from our champion today. So I request all of you to sit back, relax, note down, ask questions, learn as many things as possible. That's the whole idea of having so many TLA events in our district. Thank you once again for joining, and let's do what we love and do a lot of it for District 120. Over to you, TLA Chair Toastmaster Abdul.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Mohan, for your address. Now it's time to hear from our club growth director. Toastmaster Vinod Kumar is a Okay. He's an electrical engineer with more than 15 years of association with L&T Electrical and Automation, a unit of Schneider Electric India Private Limited. He is currently serving as a general manager and leading the outsourcing operations of low voltage switchboards manufacturing at Coimbatore. A Toastmaster since 2018, he is currently a member of Coimbatore Speaker Forum, Tamil to Chennai Solvendargal Mandram, and also the charter member of SEIPL Alpha Coimbatore Toastmasters Club. He was a stellar area director of Area B5, with all his 6 clubs emerging as President's Distinguished and Distinguished Division Director of Division B, with an increasing by 18% membership. He is currently serving as a Club Growth Director of District 120. Let's welcome our Club Growth Director, Toastmaster Vinod Kumar. Over to you, Vinod.
Thank you so much, Abdul. I hope I'm audible. Yeah.
Yes.
So, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. Yes, as Mohan was also mentioning, contest is something a different stage that I have also been an area level contestant back after 1 year. I joined Toastmasters, but after into this district leader position, this is a stage that I'm missing a lot. And of course, every contest, you be a contestant, you be a role player, it gives a different experience, a transformative experiences. At the end of it, we enjoy a lot. Today, we have three eminent speakers amongst us who taught us how to value that little extra. The one who told us how to observe clearly and capture at the right moment. And we have one more who told us keep rowing the boat happily and merrily and bring out the inner child who is within you. So these were impactful messages which I have learned it from in the last term when they were the contestants. And today they are also going to give us valuable messages on how to face the contest today and what are the important traits that we need to improve and how to practice better so that we can also deliver impeccable messages like this. Along with you all, I'm also very eager to learn from them. So wish you all the best for this and thank you so much for all the speakers who are here today to share their messages. Back to you, Abdul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod, for your address. Now, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the moderator of today's panel discussion, and she will take it from there. So, before introducing the moderator, uh, in apart from being the TLA chair, where it's mandatory for me to start the meeting and conduct this, I also joined as a learner. Last week, my club level ISC contest got over. I was not qualified for the area level. Even then, I participate here to learn because this session is going to help me in the next year's contest, and I'm sure I will be a better version of myself next year. With that said, now it's time to introduce our moderator, Toastmaster Arunmozhi Villalan, a freelancer trainer specializing in soft skills and finance with his finance. She has full time. She is a full time poet, and she is an author, poet, writer, Pattimandram, and public speaker. She has co-authored 5 books so far on haiku, limericks, centrio, and self-assertive verses. It's all tongue twisters for me, and her first book on love is under correction and proofreading, which is due to be publishing shortly. A multifaceted professional and fellow Toastmaster, I'm sure she will make today's panel discussion helpful, useful for everyone, and I can't wait for the learning. Let's put our hands to welcome the moderator for today's session, Toastmaster Arun Murray. Over to you.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Toastmaster Abdul. I welcome everyone for the Toastmaster Leadership Institute's 49th event happening on a Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. There are roughly about 65 participants. Thank you all for taking your time and coming for this event. With this, I'd like to introduce the panel discussion, the panelists for today's session. I'll start with Toastmaster Selvaraj. If you had been for the Discover 2023 conference, you can never miss a tall glass jar and a yellow color liquid. Every time I see that, Toastmaster Selvarajan comes to my mind. To give you a small but brief introduction for lack of time about Selvarajan, he is the head of talent and organizational development, HR, in Illumine I. He's been awarded as the Young HR Achiever by Larsen & Toubro, Mumbai in July 2020. He's the Associate Certified Coach from the International Coach Federation. Apart from that, what are his laurels in Toastmasters? He is the District Champion Table Topics Innovation 2018. He is the first runner-up in the District ISC contest in 2022. And he is the District Champion of ISC in Discover 2023. And he's the current division winner in the humorous speech contest and speech evaluation contest. So it means we are going to meet him again in the district stage. With that, I welcome Toastmaster Selvarajan to be our panelist. And our next introduction is for distinguished Toastmaster Karthik Mohandas. Do you remember every time I see this mosquito bat? I never knew mosquito bat had so much purpose in life until Karthik used it as Roro Royabod instrument. He's a typical South Indian. He killed a dream to do something else because that is what most South Indians do. He killed his dream of being in the kitchen and he completed his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and then went on to complete a master's degree in CAD. Only South Indians can do this. Thank you so much. He's been a Toastmaster for more than 11 years and never has missed an opportunity thrown at him for challenging himself. He became the president in 2 months, and after serving as president, he moved to the suburbs of Chicago for 1 year. So he's seen the international level of Toastmasters as well. After coming back, he did not wait. He jumped in, served as a VPE, area governor, and division director. Some of the laurels that, if you have to remember about distinguished Toastmaster Karthik Mohandas, he's been awarded as a Best Division Director 2015-2016. He's the humorous champion in 2016. He's the district evaluation contestant in 2017. And he was the first ISC runner-up in 2023 in Discover. So this is about our Idli Vada Sambar Biryani lover from Chennai, or from South India, I should say more precisely. Thank you so much for being our panelist. Welcome, Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Karthik Mohandas. And the next person who made us all smile with just one word. He never said cheese, he said click. With this, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. He is Toastmaster Shamraj. I've seen Toastmaster Shamraj many times before I saw him on stage. So it is very similar to Karthik Mohandas as well, because I saw the lungi version of him before that itself. And so was, they were all over the YouTube. Regarding Shamraj, he's trained more than 1 lakh plus people over Tamil Nadu. He's a TEDx speaker. He's an instructor in the Guinness World Record for largest vocabulary lesson. He's an instructor in the Guinness World Record for recycling lessons. He's an instructor for the largest lesson under India Book of Records. And regarding his laurels, he is the district level winner in humorous speech contest in 2015, which happened in Sri Lanka. District level winner, table topics contestant in table topics contest in 2017 in Colombo, Sri Lanka. District level winner, international speech contest 2019 in Chennai, India. District level winner in evaluation contest in 2019 in India. District level winner in the international speech contest in 2020. And he was the district level winner, third place in Discover 2023 as well. With this, I'd like to invite all the three panelists to our panel discussion. So thank you so much for joining in. Some of the questions are this is based on the feedback and input that has been received from the participants who filled the forms. This has been taken in consultation with our TLI chair, Abdul, and our distinguished Toastmaster, Mohana Krishnan. We brainstormed and we took a few questions which will be interesting for the audience to know from an ISC perspective. So straight away, I'd like to go ahead with the questions if you're all ready. Can we go ahead? Bye. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I'd like to have all the three perspectives so that we get what is there in each person's mind for the same question. It'll be more like a table topics, 1.5 to 2 minutes. So take your time and you can answer the same. So I'll start with Selvaraj for the first question. Toastmaster Selvaraj, can you explain the surge of emotions you felt after winning the district ISC in 2023?
Thank you so much for posting that, Arunmoli. And now I'll have to rewind to the past to May 2023 and then identify the emotion once again that I felt that day. It was a little bit of excitement, more of anxiety, because the journey did not stop there. And
Selva, I think your voice is a bit feeble. I don't know if it's just me, just for the audience's thing.
It is feeble.
It's feeble.
Is it audible now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. In fact, it was a mixed emotion, and I was excited, and as much as the excitement level was, I was equally in anxiety as well, because the journey did not intend to stop there. There was one more, there were other levels further for the international speech contest. And where can I go and take up the lessons for the successive levels? Whom should I reach out to take inputs for the next levels? And how is the next level going to be? And those questions were running in my mind that night of winning the contest itself, because that is a journey and that is not going to come to an end immediately. But receiving feedback, wishes, and friendly notes from fellow contestants from the fraternity was something that made my day that day. And I was equally excited as well as put in the zone of anxiety to a greater extent also.
You're on mute, Arunmoli.
Arunmoli on mute.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Selvarajan, for that answer, honest answer. And now I'd like to hear DTM Karthik Mohandas, your version on how you felt after winning the first runner-up.
I don't have mixed emotions, but when I look back, say 2011, when you ask me to jump out of the train, I'll be ready to do it. If you want me to speak in English, I will not be ready to do it. I'm not ready at that point, okay? So Toastmasters, I owe everything to Toastmasters. And someone from that level can go and stand with Shamraj and Selva kind of people. I really felt happy. And on that day is my anniversary, to be frank. Spending the entire day from morning to evening. Imagine, I wanted to leave after my contest. And everyone during the lunch, everyone was telling me, hey, that was wonderful. I really loved it. And you have to, see, you'll be in top 3. You'll be in top 3. So people are saying, you'll be in third place. There are a lot of people who are saying third place. Oh my God. So I don't want to miss that opportunity to collect it from my hand. But fortunately, I was in second place. Thank you so much for that opportunity. But one thing I really remember is Toastmasters if you put 10 minutes every day for Toastmasters, that's my simple thought. I'm sure you will reap wonderful benefits.
Thank you so much. Belated anniversary wishes.
Ha,
We forgot to say you that day, so I'm telling it to you now. And I'd like to move on to Toastmaster Shamraj. How did you feel when you received that news?
When I think about that moment, I also remember that we met after a few years. The district conference happened in person after a few years. So meeting everybody by itself was happiness. I interacted with all our friends. Toastmasters gives us this opportunity to feel appreciated and celebrated quite often. We do an MC role, we are appreciated. We take up a leadership role, we are appreciated. We go up to the stage, do a mistake, we are appreciated. And on that day, to share the stage with lovely friends like Selva, Karthik, and so many others, we had 4 contests. So that way, standing on the stage and delivering that speech along with the other friends by itself was so delightful. And yes, to be in the top 3 certainly adds to that excitement. I felt very happy, Aranmoli. And in
Thank you.
fact, for people like us, like we come to Chennai, we get to meet all the Toastmasters only when there is an arrangement like a conference. Now I'm from Virudhunagar. I'll have to travel and meet all these people. So it was so delightful to stay there till the last person left Green Park. So such was the happiness.
Thank you so much. We were able to hear all the 3 of your voices on how you felt about that day, which we couldn't really get to know about. With this, I'll be moving on to the next question right now, slightly on a different tangent. Until you made your first win, we are normally called failures. Correct? At least that's how we treated ourselves. How did it feel when you did not win, or until you had that first win, whatever year it was? I'll go this time from Shamraj.
Maybe the very first time you feel very dejected. You feel that you did it right, but then it did not go your way. After a few failures, I started understanding that I should not let my mind think for the first 2, 3 days. The first 2, 3 days is an exaggerated feeling of failure. Like you suddenly feel that the whole world is looking at you and laughing at you. So when you fail, you have just failed. This understanding came after 2, 3 rounds of failures. Yes, initially we treat the failure so high and important. What we have to remember is let us not take a permanent decision for a temporary situation. That's a very temporary problem. Let's not take a permanent decision. At times, I have fallen into that. So Naveen wants me to be a bit loud. Is this okay, Naveen? Is this fine? Yeah, am I audible? Yeah, thank you so much. So my point is, yes, allow that dejection, allow that thought, allow that regret to happen. But remember, after 2 days or 3 days, the situation will sound entirely different. You will feel like putting a pen on the paper and start drafting again. So wait for 2, 3 days. This is a lesson that I gave to myself after 2, 3 rounds of failures. That's how I felt when I failed.
Thank you so much, Shamraj. Now, Selva, what is your take on this? What would you do, or what did you do when you had failures?
Say, I still remember the first time I was able to experience the kind of failure as a Toastmaster. And it happened at the district stage in my very first attempt in the international speech contest. I came till the district level and in the year 2017 at Sri Lanka. And you would not believe if I say I was time disqualified in my ISC district semifinals. And after clearing the club, area, division, polishing the same speech, and bringing a refined version to the district level and getting time disqualified is something that I wasn't able to accept at that point of time. So when I find it difficult to accept, something that I do is have good food and take a sleep. In fact, people like Sham, who was with me at that point of time, could
He was
relate to
he was
that.
sleeping. I saw that. We were in the same room.
But after years of contesting, experiencing these kind of I would term it as an opportunity to take up the lessons rather than terming it as a failure. Two things that I would prefer to follow is acceptance followed by action orientation. So in that way, yes, accept what has happened, and you cannot go back and change things. You have to accept the fact that it has happened and focus on what needs to be done next to better yourself so that you can update yourself as a better version and come out and make the next attempt. So this is something that I would follow to handle whenever I did not expect, or whenever I experience a not so expected result or outcome.
Thank you so much, Selva. So, what would you do, Karthik? Because when I failed at the when I got through the club level and I failed at the area level, as soon as the results were declared, within less than 5 minutes, I wrote a poetry for myself, consoling myself. So, did you start cooking for yourself? What did you do? And how did you overcome that emotion?
I'm not a poet like you to write a poet, but I have a habit of writing a journal. Like, what was the lessons you've learned and what is the action you have to take? So that is the one thing I used to do. And maybe more than the failure, before winning humorous speech contest, I never felt I failed. I participated in evaluation, TT, ISC. ISC, I went to division, lost, and there were a lot of failures, but I never felt I failed. Okay, I participated. It is just fun. That's the feeling. And 2016, after winning humorous speech, the next year I participated in humorous speech contest. And area level, I was not in top three. And more than I don't feel like I failed. And everybody was coming and talking to me. Gee, you are not there in top three. You are not there in top three. And I was on that day I was writing journal. I never rehearsed before that contest. And why you are thinking that? Why people are thinking that? So that is the expectation from people. Maybe I have not rehearsed at all for area contest, and you are coming and delivering a speech, and you deserve that. So that is the only thing I wrote in my journal on that day. So all I do is I just write what made you to do this and what actions you have to take in.
Thank you so much, Karthik. I can relate to what you're saying. Something there is a venting out is one way or the other. So for some people it's food, for some people it's writing, for some people it's speaking. I understand. Thank you so much. With this, I'm now moving on to the next question. After you could not win a couple of times, did you ever feel you wanted to give up? Or what, who, or why? How did you get into this contest binging mode again? I'm just posting this question to maybe start with Karthik for this time.
And a contest binging mode is just fun, go and talk to people. A lot of people. It is really fun. Basically, you will never know who will change your script, okay, during the process. There are a lot of strangers you meet and they become your best friend. Okay, maybe some of the examples I quote, like when I was rehearsing for my international speech contest, it was like, what is your pill? So find your pill, that is the concept. And I delivered a speech in Bank of America as a test speaker. Okay, and there is one lady, she is not at all a toastmaster, and she is uh, came in as a guest. And after the speech, and she come and told me, I was curious till that 5 minutes. What is that pill? What is that pill you are telling? When I got to know this is what you are saying, and after that you said everybody in this room has problem, everybody outside the world has problem. I'm not at all interested to listen. Maybe keep that surprise till the end. That makes a difference in your script. Oh my God! Simple thought. My mentor never told this, and I had two mentors at that point. They never suggested this, and this lady was telling that simple tip, and it was thought provoking, right? Maybe the same thing happens to everybody. Like for me during this contest, The day before the speech, I practiced around 11, 12 times, and I was telling Satya is here. I was telling Satya, shall we catch up for evening? Maybe I'll give once. And I delivered the speech to him, and he gave a couple of suggestions, and that was a transforming moment for. See, it is like a lot of people give input, and after the speech, when some of them will come and tell you, right, I really love that, and I'm going to implement this. I'm going to implement this. I'm going to try this. So that makes the difference. So that is what keeps us coming. Maybe inspiration from people that keeps us coming. That's what I feel personally.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Selva, what is your take on this point?
So, my thoughts on this would be the collective answer that Karthik gave as well as the answer that Sham gave earlier. Because when we don't arrive at the expected result in a contest, never make a permanent decision for something that is temporary. All that I would prefer to do is go back to the drawing board, identify the right strategy by taking up the lessons, take feedback from people whom you trust, inside and outside Toastmasters, incorporate their recommendations, whichever you are comfortable to do with, and make your launch once again. So that is something that I would prefer to do. And as Karthik rightly mentioned, we get better feedback or the right inputs at the most unexpected times. And that has happened to me several times, which even helped me modify the speech script to a greater extent. In the recently concluded international speech contest in 2023, I had one line towards the end of the speech. Last year, when my wife and I went on a long drive, a stranger raised his bike from behind and signaled us to close the car door properly. And that extra care saved us from a major accident. I did not have this line till I completed the division level. And this line popped up from an incident that I experienced 2 days before the district contest. While I was going in my bike, I found a car that was coming parallelly towards me. A little baby was leaning on the door of the car, and the car was not closed properly. And I had to raise my bike, stop that car, tell the driver that the door is not closed properly, and the baby is leaning on the door. And we don't know how we'll be able to get the content. And this kind of incidents have happened to me through feedback from my friends within and outside Toastmasters as well. So go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, and have your launch once again. That is the approach that I would have.
Thank you so much, Selva. I can relate to what you say when real life incidents have an impact on your current speech. It is going to be definitely transformational. Shamraj, giving you a small twist to the same question. How much of feedback would you take when people give you? And would you go and incorporate? Because you're all talking about launching. Sorry. You're all talking about getting feedback, incorporating the feedback, and relaunching yourself. So how much of feedback would you take and how will you give it back?
If I have your permission, may I also answer the question that you asked to Karthik and Selvarajan because I got prepared.
Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Okay. No, however, I mean, due respect, I'll first answer your question, Arunmuri. You said, how do you incorporate feedback? Okay. In my understanding, um, if I were a contestant or if I were an audience, I would apply this logic to myself. Uh, my feedback to a contestant would be valid, would be right before the judgment is announced. See, before the result of that contest is announced, any feedback that I give to that contestant is right. But after the judgment, if I were to give any feedback to that person, that has to be validated. That has to be checked twice or thrice. So when a feedback is offered before the contest, before I step up to the stage, or before the result of that contest is announced, I'm going to take that very seriously, because I have presented myself to that person, and that person has assumed himself or herself in the seat of an audience and found that something else could have been better. So that is result oriented. Now, if I were to take a feedback after the judgment, that is going to be judgment oriented. Like we are trying to justify the result of a contest. So that way, we will need to take 2 or 3 more rounds of inspection before we take that suggestion. My view, Arunmoli. Now, how do you launch yourself again? Like, was that the question you asked? You said, how do you come back again to the contest stage after failing the previous time? Was that the question?
The question was what, how, or why did you again come back to the contest stage? Or who
All
made you
right.
come back to the contest stage?
All right. I thought this would be helpful for all our friends, so I share
Definitely,
this
please.
quick little example. Um, I watched this movie King Kong, and this scene is very attractive to me. There is this lead actor, the hero of the movie. He is pulled by the villain to a boat, to a ship. The hero wants to be on the shore, but he has taken him on the ship. Now the villain is trying to keep him on the ship until it moves. The hero is trying to persist and get to the shore. The villain keeps delaying the conversation, waits until the ship moves. The hero doesn't realize it. And suddenly the hero says, bye, I'm leaving. Goes and looks at the ocean. The ship has already moved. Now he comes back at this villain and shouts, how dare you? I wanted to be on the shore. You stayed me in the ship. Now I can't go back. Now the villain asks, why do you want to go there? He says, I love drama. I want to write for drama. You have stopped me from doing that. And the villain says, no, you are wrong. You don't love drama. He says, no, I love drama. He says, no, you don't love drama. How do you say that? If you really love drama, you would have jumped. You didn't jump, which means you don't love that enough. So, if you ask what makes people come back to the contest every time, they jump into that ocean because they really love that. So, there don't need to be any reasons to come back and contest. The more you love the contest, the more you love yourself on that stage and present, that is enough. That by itself is a reason. This is connected to the answer that I gave you earlier. The first 2 3 days, your mind, the inner mind will give you so many like solutions. Come on, I'm not going to contest anymore. I'm not going to go there. Wait, the fourth day, it will give you a topic. It will give you some ideas. So just go through the first 3 days. Wanted to give this answer. Sorry for taking a lot of time. Back to you, Aranmoli.
Thank you so much, Shamraj. I can really relate. The first 2, 3 hours is even more crucial. That is the time it actually says you are literally worthless in life. You cannot even go make hot water that time. I know how difficult it is when you have failures. I can relate to what you said. Thank you so much for giving this insight, because there are a lot of people who are contesting for the first time. And I thought these kind of questions will make them or prepare them for a long time Toastmasters journey, wherein they have to love the drama again and again so that they'll come back to this place, hit the stage many more times. So thank you so much. Now the question is, in your own perspectives, can you tell me how participating in contests, I'm not just referring to ISC, but this is going to be for a general contest. It could be ISC, TT, humorous, anything. Contests help you evolve as a better speaker. I'll start with Karthik this time.
More than a better speaker, it makes you a better person. I always tell this, when you go for evaluation contest, you should not be a evaluator on the stage. Even it has to be part of your DNA. Every time when you look at people and give feedback, it has to be like you do it on stage. When you go on stage, you are a wonderful evaluator. You say all positive, good things and the area of improvement you give in a way. But when my daughter once, the call was ringing in my mobile and she was standing on the couch and picking it, I did not give the feedback the way I used to do in the stage. It has to be part of your DNA. And if it is not there, even when you win the championship, I lost in division, right? I felt you are not there, Karthik. So that's the feeling I had. You are not there. It has to be part of your DNA. Then it will change. So that is the take I have with respect to the question.
Thank you so much, Karthik. I'm able to relate when you say that it has to be part of your DNA, because what you say, it cannot be drama on stage. It has to be real life. That is when you will feel that authenticity in your voice. Now, Sham, what is your take on the same subject?
I remember what Dhananjaya said. Dhananjaya said, uh, when you come to the stage every time, you come as a different you. This is what he said. You come back as a different you. He never said you come back with a different speech. To him, the speaker comes so evolved. The speaker comes so changed. The speech is almost the same. This is what he believes. I buy the same thought that Karthik has rooted here now. 2015, when I was at Colombo for the first time, the ISC district stage, I spoke 1,300 words in that 5 to 7 minutes. That was the rate of my speech. Nobody understood me. That's because in my regular life, I spoke like that. And I had breathing problems then. Later, I understood it was because I wanted to express so fast that I was not regulating my breath. Slowly, when Toastmasters started giving me feedback about my pace, when they said, come on, reduce your speed, I'm not able to catch you. You are not understood. I don't get your message. So, for the sake of making them understand, I started reducing my speed. It's like a pendulum, like you go this way and then it definitely comes this side to your life also. I started reducing my speed, and today I think I write 800 words or say 750 words for my 5 to 7 minute speech. And even when I speak to people outside in this world, off the stage, I speak slowly. So that's the impact it has in life. So any emotion that you ask for on stage is certainly reflected in life as well.
You are perfectly understood right now, and I can see that version of me also slowing down, because even I had a typically long words. I mean, I had the same problem as well. My words rate per minute was also too high, but out of practice, I've slowed down. Thank you so much for that wonderful tip. And Selma, what is your take on how have you evolved as a speaker?
See, contests, according to me, makes an individual personally effective. It prepares you with so many competencies of readiness, resilience, endurance, and all those things. But this is something that I have experienced. Whenever I prepare for a speech contest, I document the speech in Microsoft Word. And when I feel that no, I can modify this part of my speech with a different example, with a different context, I'll have to go back and rewrite my speech. In that case, I will not make changes to the initial document that I prepared. It remains the same. I copy paste it and rename it as version 2 of that speech and make the change. And once again, when something pops up in my little brain, it becomes version 3, version 4, and version 5. Now, this speech would go through the club, area, division, and maybe the district as well. And in this journey of 5 to 6 months, this Word document would have got upgraded with 9 to 10 versions. Writing, rewriting, re-strategizing, rewriting once again. Now, when a 2-page Word document can get upgraded by 9 or 10 versions, remember the upgrade that can happen to an individual in that 5 to 6 months of time. And every time we take part in a speech contest, as Shyam said, we evolve as a better individual, become more personally effective. And as Karthik rightly mentioned, it gets imbibed and becomes a part of our DNA. And that is something contests have given to me.
Thank you so much, Selva. I can really relate to what you said. it is more like cooking a dish in a normal kitchen. And when it goes to 10 versions, it is like cooked by a master chef. It is the transformation that this speech will go through when we really take it, as how Karthik was saying before, you have to take it very personally. And each time when you are ready for what you're doing, it definitely gives a transformational result. Thank you so much. The next question is, when we are talking about ISC, we say there is content all over us. But when I want to really sit and write a content, my mind is blank. Can you tell me what is each of your strategies for coming up with an ISC script from your ordinary life, which has everybody's quotes, which has humor, which has all the elements that the ballot is looking out for, and it is also giving you that winning stage? What is your take on it? I'll go with Shamraj this time.
My views. There is no one element. No. Like one element cannot draft your entire speech. Maybe one line can be chosen to be placed in your speech. For example, I went out with my friends. There is a joke that one of my friends cracked, and I feel anybody will laugh for that joke. So take it, keep it there. This is certainly there in this year's ISC speech. Picking an incident is very difficult because when you say you go blank, in my view, let me tell you what that blank means. I have at least 10 or 15 incidents which I want to share. I can't put all of them into that one speech. When I start choosing, when I start cherry picking, none of those incidents will qualify to the top position. That's that blank. I say I met a neighbor, a small kid. That's one incident. I went to the hospital. There was an incident. That's another element. I have 15 such incidents. I loved all those incidents. Now you keep a contest among all these 15 incidents. Which one am I going to take? None of these incidents will win because the other will start pulling this. So picking a big element is very difficult. Pick little ones, little ones, little ones. One joke, one word, one punchline, something that can connect with the topic. Slowly, these pointers will tell you which among the 15 incidents can be chosen. It's about dressing to the pant, dressing to the shirt, dressing to the tie. First, go for the little ones, which you can certainly keep inside that speech. And then they will instruct you which incident can be drawn in, which anecdote can be pulled in, which metaphor can be used, and how you start, how you build it, and how you close. This is what I believe. So, going blank, yes, it happens with everybody. First, understanding that it happens with everybody is a very positive motivation. As much as you think my mind is blank, the mind will remain to be blank. But when you know everybody's mind is blank, slowly you will start filling your mind. Now, the very common suggestion about contesting is you should know everybody is sailing in the same boat. So the negatives will start looking like challenges. The challenges will start looking like assignments.
Thank you so much, Sham. I can really relate to that. I'm glad that I'm not alone, and you are all we are all in the same boat. And the message that I'd like to pass on to all the participants and the guests is that you are all not alone, because even the district champions have the same problem. So this is a universal problem in Toastmasters, and the solution also we've been getting it from them. I can very much relate when you say you dress match, right? You know, sometimes I go with what I have, and sometimes I just have something and I cook up a dress for it. So that's how it happens. So I'd now like to go ask Selva, what is your opinion on taking scripts from ordinary life?
So, in my perspective, I would consider two aspects while choosing the speech or while preparing for a speech contest. The content should be relatable to the masses. That is something that I would prefer. So whenever a thought strikes my mind, it might be a phrase which can be taken as a title. It can be a punchline that can stand as the message of the speech, or it might even be an incident. Now I'll have to check the magnitude of relatability of this element with others so that I can take it to the masses. So whenever I find something of that sort, or whenever I feel that this might be a contest worthy element, I take it for dining table conversations and water cooler discussions at the workplace. And thereby, I will be able to check and evaluate how far my peers and people around me are able to relate to that. And once that relatability has got a positive tick, if it has got a green tick, then my next aspect would be how can I put this in a better perspective? Now, giving something or serving something as is natural. But how can I give it in a different perspective so that I don't deliver a speech, but I deliver an experience to my audience? Now, I was talking about this movie very recently with a bunch of my friends. In one of our occasions, we together were watching one of this 90s kids movie, Yearkai. And the movie had a very sad ending from this actor Sham's perspective. Now he liked someone and she agreed to that, but finally she earlier liked someone, and when that person returned, she had to let go of this person, and this is a sad ending. So my friends did not appreciate much of this climax. While we were discussing about this incident, a friend of us said, "See, you're looking at this movie from this actor Sham's perspective, but look at this from Arun Vijay's perspective. He has made a commitment and promise to a girl, and despite so many calamities, even after so many years, he wanted to stand by his promise, stand by his commitment. So he endured all these aspects of calamities and time, and he came back to the same girl, right? So that is still a positive ending from his perspective, is what he said. So serving the content that I had in my mind after evaluating for relatability with a different perspective makes a huge difference. And that is something that I would consider while preparing for a speech contest.
Thank you, Selva. I can relate. It is like when we serve idli, nobody likes. But when you serve the same idli as fried idli, everybody likes. And it is also highly priced. That is what I can infer from your speech. Now, Karthik, what is your say on this?
What is it I have to say when Selva and Sham given this answer? What is it I have to say?
I'm sure you
But
will have a different perspective for the same.
maybe I'll always look for simplicity and connect. And when it is not about simplicity and connect. After at 7th minute, when people resonate with you, there is a nod from the crowd, or they respond back to you. So that is one thing I always look for. So every time when it has to be simple and it has to have connect. Maybe one interview, I don't remember who is the director, and they asked this question to him: "What is the formula for hit movie?" And he responded that if everybody knows this, and all the movie will be hit. And what is the formula for winning the any speech? If everybody knows this, always everybody will be in the district stage and they will be in top 3, right? So there is no such formula. It has to click. It has to click, and sometime it will click, and sometime it will not, and it will click sometime.
Thank you so much, Karthik. So the result of this conversation, I'm telling you, especially for this question, for the sake of audience, I'm just going to reiterate. There are three things that all the three speakers said. One is takers are keepers. So you can take from anyone, keep it for your script, is what Sham said. And the second aspect about the thing is, when Selva said, the content should be relatable to the masses, and he will test it even before he writes the script. That is what is the idea I get from it. And what better can Karthik say? Simplicity and connect should be there. So I think these are some of the tips that ISC speakers can follow for better script writing. The next question, when you develop a script, would you pay attention to the content, language, and the judging criteria as per the ballot? or you just go ahead, write your script and ensure that the ballot is also being covered? How do you do that? I'll go with Karthik this time. You start first because you want to lead.
I always write the script, and ballot and all I'll see at the end of the preparation. Okay, I'll never see ballot upfront. So and also I look for stories more than sometimes messages will be there. You have a message, and for that you build a story. Sometimes there will be a catchy title you will get, and then for that you will find. But always, majority of the time when I write, I look for stories, personal stories, which happens in your day-to-day life with some vendor, with your family member. So I look for stories, a lot of stories. Maybe when you go and look back your journal, you'll get a lot of stories. Maybe one cyclist come in front of your car and you shout, there will be some story. There will be a lot of stories you will get. And with that story, you craft your speech and you start preparing. And it got maybe one of the example, maybe Silva said, right? Versions. My humorous speech has version 17. It had got 17 versions. And it will polish. It will polish and thorough Rajan used to say. Under pressure and temperature, ordinary carbon transforms into a diamond. So that is what I look for. That final, when you are ready for the contest, you look at the ballot. And finally, when you prepare this with love and care, it automatically fills that ballot. You don't have to see the ballot at all.
Thank you, Karthik. I can relate when you say sweet 17 scripts. It's not easy to get 17 versions of the same script. It has to be with love and care. So, Selva, what is your take on this? How do you do with scripting?
So, something that I give prime importance to while preparing for a speech, while scripting especially, is I need to focus on the audience experience. Till date, I haven't seen the judges' ballot of a Toastmaster speech contest for any of the four formats, and I don't have any knowledge about the judging criteria. So if someone invites me to be a judge in any of the Toastmaster speech contest, I will be sitting with a blind mind. That's the knowledge I have about the judges' criteria and the ballot. So to me, audience experience matters the most. I can deliver a better audience experience through engagement. And when I say engagement, it falls into two categories: active engagement and passive engagement. If I'm able to make my audience respond to my speech while I'm delivering it, I call it as active engagement. And when my audience are able to get connected with my content emotionally, it becomes passive engagement. So considering these aspects, I write my speech, I rehearse my speech, and I deliver my speech.
Thank you so much, Selva. I can understand when you say active engagement and passive engagement is more about how you treat the experience of your audience when you deliver a script, even before you deliver a script. Thank you for that perspective. Sham, what is your take on how would you go about with the script?
Thank Karthik and Selva. They have given the answer that I had in my mind as well. Uh, I might sound a bit out of the book. So kindly correct me, Selva and Karthik, if this understanding has to be changed. Now, the one-line answer is the judge's ballot comes at the end. How the audience feel, how the content works, all of this matter the most to me. Now, when I said I might move a bit out of the book, I'm trying to say, now you are asking a contestant this question: will you use the judge's ballot during your preparation? I would like to ask that question in return. Will the judges use the judge's ballot when they judge a speech? Do you think so? As a human, you listen to a speech. You listen to a speech. The speech is attractive. You're a common man sitting in that audience. You enjoy the speech. You love that speech. You think that this person has moved the audience. Now he is starting to give marks for every column. Assume that this person did not have a very good voice variation. Do you think he will get 2 out of 10 for that? He will get 8. He will get 8. Now, this person's speech was not evaluated specific to the voice variation. Maybe the speech was attractive and the judge starts believing that for this speech, this voice variation is okay. So when you look at the judge's ballot, there is no defined description. There is no defined 1, 2, 3 rule set saying when I find a person with this body language, A, B, C, D, I give him 10 on 10. There is no book which tells us speech effectiveness. It has to be like this. When it is like this, I give him 15 on 15. How would anybody define that? Despite the many judges training programs, despite the many orientations that we give to each other, still by the end of the day, that's an open area. That's an open area wherein you will find a new speaker with a new speech, with a new perspective, and you will find that definition of speech effectiveness can still be accepted even if it is new. So, having the judges' ballot at the end and thinking only about the audience, thinking only about the speech, only about the content, and how you can deliver it with attraction. Maybe I would like to highlight this point, attraction. When the speech finally becomes attractive, the judges' ballot will become more friendly to you. When the speech is not very attractive, and if I'm trying to click all the check boxes in the judges' ballot, I don't think I will end up with a good score in the ballot. Quick example, we had Aaron Beverly. His speech was very different from Dhananjaya's speech. Dhananjaya's speech was very different from Katani's speech. Every world champion delivers his own way of speech effectiveness, his own way of voice modulation, his own way of body language, but they all score 10 on 10 in that ballot. How was that? Because there was a primary point called attraction, out of which the judges were able to give them full marks. Please correct me, Selvarajan and Karthik, if I had been wrong in my way of understanding the judges' ballot, the contestants, our audience, the speech, and everything.
Thank you so much, Shyam. I can very much relate when you say this. This question was purposefully asked to ensure that there are more Toastmasters who've just completed level 2 for them to give them the confidence that there is nothing great that experienced Toastmasters do. Even beginners can go ahead and click and win the stage, provided they have to feel that experience of touching the audience. That is a message I would like to pass on. So anybody can give a speech and anybody can win a contest is what I wanted to deliver out of this question. Thank you so much. And the next question is, when you rehearse for an ISC contest, be it at club level or before you hit the big stage, how often do you test the validity of your script? And how often do you deliver the same script? I will go ahead with Shyam this time.
Delivering the same script in club, area, division, district. Is that what you're asking, Arunmali? Or are you asking, would we be presenting and checking the script elsewhere?
I'd like you to answer both the set of questions. Would you go ahead with the same script for area level, district and division and district? And even before you go to the area level, would you even try it in other clubs to see what kind of response you're getting? Just answer both the questions briefly.
My answer would be I don't practice it in other clubs. I check it with many of my Toastmaster friends and non-Toastmaster friends. The opinions of my non-Toastmaster friends has always mattered the most because they react like common men and women. So if they approve that content, if they feel there are no jargons in my speech, if there is no complication in my speech, if they feel that they enjoyed the speech, I think my validation is done. The second question, club, area, division, district. It is always wise to go with the same script. That script is getting seasoned. You are practicing that script so well. Now, suddenly bringing in another script and starting from ABCs will not be a wise decision. The script has made you clear the previous level. The script has also got some suggestions. That's a gift. Don't drop that gift and take something else in hand. That's what I believe.
Thank you so much, Sham. It is like trusting the boat in which you're traveling. Mid sea, you cannot change the boat. So, Karthik, what is your take on the same subjects?
First of all, with respect to validation, no, as Sham mentioned, there are feedbacks from non-Toastmasters are really valid. I take that. And from Toastmasters, right, some of the times you will not be comfortable with the feedback, even from your mentor. You will not be comfortable implementing that. Like maybe one of the example is um, in my ISC speech once, I was using a B complex tablet, and I take the tablet out and I swallow it and give one tablet to the contest master and leave. Okay, this is what I did till division. Okay, and when I was practicing for the next level, the suggestion which was given is the tablet is not clearly visible. Why don't you take a polo? Like polo, there is white color polo. You show it to the audience. Audience will see it. All that. I'm not at all comfortable with that. So my validation is I have to be comfortable when something given to me. For me, it has to be comfortable. Even trying something from my uncomfortable zone, I'll not be do it. I'll not be ready to do it. So whatever I want to implement, it is first of all comfortable, and it has to connect with people. So if it is not comfortable, I will not be able to connect with people. So that's what I look for.
Thank you so much, Karthik. I'm able to personally relate when you say it has to connect with you first before you connect with others, because otherwise you will look very artificial on stage. I can get that point from you. Selva, what is your opinion on the same subjects?
In terms of the script, as Sham said, I would retain the same speech, the same script, unless and until there are changes required based on the feedback or based on the experiences that I have had as a speaker in the earlier levels of the contests. So probably one segment of the speech might require a change or modification. That is something that I would introspect and incorporate as and when required. And in terms of rehearsing, I usually don't deliver it in other clubs, at least in the recent years. But I used to check or take inputs from a few people whom I trust, especially at my workplace, who are non-Toastmasters once again. And they would be able to give me the right feedback is what I believe in, and I draw their inputs for my scripts and speeches. And till date, it has worked out. And something that I would like to highlight here, which Sham and Karthik said, is feedback from non-Toastmasters has helped to a greater extent in refining the script to a better version.
Thank you so much, Selva. So the message is, dear Toastmasters, ISC contestants, test the validity of your scripts to non-Toastmasters to get a more of a honest opinion so that you can incorporate. If they are able to appreciate it, definitely Toastmasters will be able to appreciate it. I think that is a message that all three of them are trying to say. Because if a layman can appreciate your speech, definitely Toastmasters, you can sell the speech.
Arunmali, I would just like to add something to that. It is
Selva, your voice is very low.
No, I prefer seeking feedback from non-Toastmasters on my speech script because they have been a tougher audience than a Toastmaster audience is. Now, when you take the Toastmasters audience to take feedback, they will be very amicable, friendly, and encouraging. But whereas when it is a non-Toastmaster audience, they will just shove it on the face directly. What are you talking about? I don't understand. So that aspect is something that is helping us to refine the script to a better version.
Even that is what
Thank
we
you.
are trying to say. Even Sham also saying the same thing. Okay, we are not saying no, Toastmasters are not giving valid feedback. Like for example, I mentioned right that lady from Bank of America. She mentioned. So any of the Toastmaster did not realize it. They listened to the speech, but non-Toastmasters said, "Hey, I'm interested till that point. After that, I'm not at all worried what you're saying." So that is the feedback she was telling.
Thank you so much. I can relate to what you all said because especially non-Toastmasters who are kids are much more open in giving feedback. I remember for my humorous speech script, my son was actually my evaluator. I ran the script with him, and he was the one who said actual pointers about how I can make the script a little more funnier, and that really helped in giving the script a shape. Thank you. And how was winning the ISC change the perspectives in your thought process, either at your work or in your communication with your family members? I'll have to start this time with Selva. What is your opinion on this one?
Um, Now, winning the ISC is a validation of the approach that I have handled in scripting, rehearsing, and delivering. Probably I have used the right kind of words. I have used the right sentences to convey the intended emotions, and I have delivered it with the right gesticulation. Now, taking this as a lesson, taking this as an input, taking this as a validation, I incorporate this in my workplace communication and conversations, especially while making board presentations. Now, it worked there and it was validated with a victory. So probably I can draw inspiration from that context and use the similar style in making this PowerPoint presentation, in delivering this address, or in using this style while hosting an event. So that victory is once again a validation that, okay, this is something that is acceptable by the masses, and this has engaged with the audience, and this has given the message that I intended to give. So probably I can use it at my workplace as well. So that is something this victory in ISC has given to.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Selva. Can I have, Sham, your opinion on how did this winning reflect at work or at family level?
The quick two emotions that I remember buying after this ISC winning are fear and responsibility. But, once you get the title, the moment the mind starts calculating more. Now, how did this thing happen? Now, winning the ISC at the district level means the speech is going to enter the regional quarterfinals. Now, will this get through that round? That started running in my mind. That was the exact reflection in my life also. There was a lot of fear, doubtfulness on what is going to happen, and feeling responsible because people have kindly offered you a title, and living up to that expectation matters the most. So I've carried out the same thing in my life also. To a person like me, Toastmasters and my professional life, like they are like railroads. They go beside each other. So people in my professional life know my journey in Toastmasters. People in Toastmasters know what I do as my profession. So in most of the places, my audiences have been the same as well. So I have carried the responsibility of the winning there. I've been more mindful of what I should speak. And that by itself had added to the finesse in the way I speak. And very important, when we enter the education sessions, like that's a ticket for you. Like you win the contest and then you are vested with this responsibility to go mentor people, to go give sessions to different clubs. That way, there has been a larger iteration of the lessons that I took for myself. Now I started becoming stronger and stronger in that. I think with fear and responsibility, that has been a sweet journey after winning the ISC. So you ask me if it was an out of the world feeling? No, no, definitely not. The steps were becoming more like I was very cautious with all the steps after winning, particularly. You're on mute, Armoli.
Thank you, Sham. It is like saying you have to give back now that you have that responsibility of giving back what you took from Toastmasters to the fraternity and outside as well. Thank you so much. So next, what is your take on this one, Karthik?
So I never won international speech contest in district. Okay. So division till division, maybe the experience Sham and Selva was sharing, maybe with respect to organization, when we go and present ourselves in front of people, right? I shout the PowerPoint presentation. I tell stories and metaphorically connect to the message. So that is one thing has changed in my perspective with respect to going and presenting ideas to people. A lot of times their slides I don't use nowadays. Okay, I have only a single word or an image in that, and then most of the time it will be blank slide, and I speak and they look at me. So I tell stories and connect to the point. So that is one thing has changed. And Sham was talking about that when you win, you have a responsibility or ticket for you to go and take education session. You become more responsible. Maybe I still remember when I won my humorous speech contest. I was coming back with my mentor in the car from Vellore to Chennai, and he was asking me why you are still dull, man. You won the no, Jen. So now people will call you for education session. That is too much of pressure. And the first education session when I took in one of the club, and there is one feedback during the coffee break. There was one. They used to send all the flyers to people, right? And they tell humorous speech winner all that. When you go there, you go and share your experience. How is your experience and all that? And there is coffee break. There is one guy was talking. "என்னடா என்னமோ சொன்னேன். அந்த அளவுக்கு இல்லையே." So that is the feeling I had. I got to hear. Maybe after that I got fine tuned. Maybe some changes we need to bring in our sessions to connect with everybody, because these guys create build up for us. So we need to live up to that build up. So that is one
Yeah, I would
pressure I have
say,
to.
and I would say with a person like Karthik having won that humorous speech at VIT in 2016, the expectation would have been so high. I still remember how he was on the shoulders of everyone. We celebrated him so much that he would have definitely started building doubts.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you, Sham, for adding it. I know when living up to people's expectation is the most difficult thing. Thanks for highlighting that part. The next one is after your winning, be it whatever it is, I'm talking about in with respect to ISC or humorous, whatever it is. Are there any new areas that you explored as a result of winning, which you would not have tried otherwise? I'll take it up from Karthik this time.
With respect to ISC humorous, I have attempted once, but I did not try something new for this. But evaluation, I tried a lot of things. For see, especially for me, if I'm prepared, I'll deliver good speech. Okay, table topic evaluation for me really tough, because it is too much of pressure, because I'm not comfortable with the language. First of all, I'm not very comfortable with the language, or the way I articulate with respect to uh, uh, I don't know. I don't know how I put it. Maybe TT and evaluation, I'm not really comfortable. So I need to put a lot of effort even before coming onto the stage. I used to rehearse a lot of speeches and read all the manuals. Uh, this is one input which I took in 2014. Like, it is from a college student, Ira Shukla, and I was the contest chair. And in that hall, I was sitting at the left of the hall. It is a big hall, 270-degree or 270-degree seater in KCG College. I was the contest chair, sitting in the left of the hall, and chief judge is sitting next to me. And she gave one feedback on body language. With respect to the bigger hall like this, you have to be delivering your gestures away from your body, above your elbow. I got stunned with this word, and chief judge was looking at me, and she said, "Come on, they are students. They are sitting somewhere in Vellore. Nobody is there to connect and give feedback to them. See what they do." And I evaluated before a lot of body language
Karthik, you're on mute, Karthik.
When I took that manual, when I go for the next evaluation in body language CC manual, second paragraph, second page, first paragraph, it says your gestures have to be away from your body, above your elbow. Come on, this is from the book. Oh my God, this is one of the biggest learning I had for evaluation contest. You don't have to go and um, invent something new for giving evaluation. All you need to do is just make sure you read and you practice and you apply at the right time. So that is one thing I used to do it for evaluation.
So, Selva, what is your take on this one, Selva? Have you tried anything new as a result of winning this contest? And if you've tried anything new, what is the thing that you've tried new?
So, in the year 2022, when the international speech contest happened online, I was placed as the first runner-up. And I was discussing about the speech that I delivered, and I shared the video of my speech to a couple of people in the fraternity who have hit the district stage several times. And when they looked at the speech and said, see, in an international speech contest, as a speaker, you're sharing a transformative experience of yours, which means you're moving the audience from the problem to a solution. And the solution is something that the audience should feel happy about it, or that is something that should make them feel comfortable about it because they have crossed the hurdle, they have endured the journey, and they have landed at this destination. But the speech that you delivered takes the audience from a problem only to another problem. It is not landing them in a solution. So taking that input, I started working on it for the next year, for 2023's International Speech Contest. So when I deliver my speech, especially in an international speech contest, the speech should be transformative. It should take an audience from a problem to a solution that would make the audience feel happy about it or comfortable about it. Because when they are happy and comfortable when the speaker completes the speech, they have received a better experience from the speaker. And that is the lesson that I have taken from the year 2022, which I applied it in 2023. And that is something that I would keep applying it till then I find a better lesson that would combat this message that I received.
Thank you, Selva. I remember during Doordarshan days, every Sunday there used to be a regional movie. And it happens that when they put one Tamil movie, and if it is not ending in Subham, we feel very bad. Because as it is, there is only one movie, and that is also not Subham. I can understand, I can relate to what you're saying. It has to be transformational, and people have to like the ending. Otherwise, they are not going to be with us. So, Sham, what is your take on the same subject?
Okay. The year was 2016. Sorry, 2017. I had the opportunity of winning the table topics contest. And in 2019, it was the evaluation contest. From both these contest experiences, I started believing in preparation even for impromptu situations. Like you can stay prepared for any condition. Out of any of my other contest experiences, I value my contest experience at the evaluation stage the most. The friends who supported, the Toastmasters who mentored me, they were so benevolent that they gave me that very strong feeling that I would be ready to evaluate any speaker that was going to come up on the stage that day. Because the practices took me to a stage wherein I was not waiting for a speech. I was just waiting for segregated traits of a speaker on stage. Like there is going to be a speaker, dissect him, do all that experiments on him, and go ahead with the evaluation. So preparation to any extent was one habit that I took from winning the evaluation. The second thing is about yeah, I was about to say that, Sundar Raman sir. Thank you. Now, when I won this TT contest, uh, again the beginning and the end was planned. Like, irrespective of the topic that I was going to receive, I really wanted to have this start and this end. But I started the way I wanted. But when I came to the end, I didn't have time. I saw the red. So I changed the way that I had planned that ending. I did it in a different way, and that different way got a big hit. People said that was fine, Shyam. That was really good. And I told them, no, actually, I had planned it this way. They said, thank God you did not do it that way. You did it this way. It worked. So the second habit that I developed was go till the end. Go till the end. Till the end to find out the best option, to find out the best version. Don't settle for anything. Until the game is over, the game is not over. This is the second habit that I started inculcating after that. When yes, Viji, that's a good friend. Speak. That's the message today. That is one statement from my evaluation. Hi, Viji. Happy having you here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shyam. I can relate when you say until the game is over, it is not yet over. So we have to perform until we call it the end. So this is one question that is there in many of our minds, and you three are masters at it. What is your perspective on elaborate stage usage? There is a second part to the question. What is the role of props for ISC, and how much is too much? So I'll start with the guitarist, Karthik Mohandas. What is your take on these?
With respect to stage usage, when you write the script, this is one technique I learned from Guru Prakash, Guru Prasad. Okay, he always tells have your emotion in the bracket. When you write the script, have your emotion in the bracket. Have your emotion in the bracket. What is that emotion you want to convey? And when you deliver your speech, for that scale you have to deliver. It doesn't matter for the stage you need to use, or maybe for that message or the content what you have, you need to deliver that body language or stage usage. That is what I believe with respect to stage usage. You don't have to be dramatic, or you have to be, or the line they draw, right? Hey, this is the stage you can use. So it is not like that. So that's how that's the way I will not plan for that content. So what is that you can do? That's what I look at it. And with respect to the other question, what is the other question you said, Arun?
The next question is role of props in ISC and how much
Okay.
is too much?
How much is too much? I'm not sure how much is too much. Okay. So even the prop which I used was mosquito bat. Okay. But on the day before the contest, I was having a different material. I got a plastic one purchased, and then had a like a row. Okay. But this one I had because when I went to the audience and say, if you're not ready, come on. At the end, I was going back to the audience. Some of them were not reacting, right? For that, I need to have this and say as a mosquito bat. So that is something I tried the day before. Maybe let's scrap that. I spent around 500 rupees for that. Let's scrap that. Use this. It is also based on the need which for your speech. If it is not going to have that need or connect with your uh, concept, leave it, grab that prop, even if you spend money.
I know it is a worth investment now. 500 rupees on a district stage, if you can win, definitely worth an investment. So, Selva, what is your take? Your glass, your tall glass and mango juice.
Um, See, there used to be a wall clock in my grandfather's house that moves like a simple pendulum. And as a kid, I used to sit in one of the corners of the house and I used to keep staring at it for no reason. And today, when I go to his house, I still used to sit somewhere and keep staring at it for no reason. when the speaker uses the stage wisely and moves from one part to the other as required in the speech, the audience would keep looking at you and they will stay engaged. But this wall clock has also given a lesson. It does not move beyond an extent that is required. It moves to the extent that is required at an optimum level. So for your speech, irrespective of what size the stage is, use it wisely only to the required extent for your script to convey the message that you wanted to share or to position the characters of your story. So use it at an optimum level would be my answer. And the second question with respect to the usage of props, you tell them something they would be able to remember till you complete the speech. You show them something, they'll be able to remember it even after a month's time. The prop that I used for my speech in the recently concluded ISC contest was one of the examples. Not many remembered the title, but everybody remembered the prop that I used. And so show them something visually, the audience would be able to recollect it, relate to it, and retain it in their mind for a longer time. And the answer to the question, how much is too much? Don't satisfy the audience. Don't satisfy the audience. If you give them one more ounce of what you have, if they would feel satisfied for that, don't give them that. Leave them at the previous step itself so that you would leave them wanting for more. That would be the adequate amount.
Thank you, Selva. I can relate when you say, tell them and they will remember, but show them and they'll be able to recall. It's such a powerful message for the usage of props. And when you say lead them when as they want more of it, is how powerful you are as a public speaker. Thank you so much. Sham, what is your...
I would love to just add to that with an experience that I had recently. I happened to witness an orchestra, a music show by Thaikudam Bridge. And they were very famous in the country at this moment. They were given a time slot of 1.5 hours of performance. They reserved the best for the last. And at the 85th moment, they played the last piece of music. The audience who were sitting in the arena, they went bananas. They applauded, they started dancing, they shouted, they whistled, and they did everything that they could do to showcase that they were experiencing the music played by the troupe. And everybody in the audience, imagine 5,000 audience shouting from the audience arena to the performers, asking for once more. The troupe did not do that. The troupe did not do that. They left it at that point itself, leaving the audience wanting for more. That is something that I would like to add to the question, how much is too much? Don't satisfy them completely. Leave them wanting for more. They would enjoy that.
Thank you, Selva. Definitely a powerful message. And Sham, what is your take on the last two questions?
A slight difference in my understanding, Arunmozhi. To me, the stage usage and prop would mean a lot. It is from them that I would derive a lot of my content as well. Now, I have used a punching doll as my property. I've used a walking stick. I've used an apple. I have used cameras. And once I have used 3 human props also. I have put them on the stage and they have helped me as human props also. Somehow I feel props and stage usage have been better tools. Like they take you to that point very quickly. Something that you explain in 4 or 5 sentences can be explained by just walking from this point to the next point. I strongly believe in that. And as Selva said, when you show people remember more, when you do something with that prop, this visual effect is more than the auditory effect. So that is a very powerful tool. Is it mandatory? Definitely not. But is it beneficial? Is it handy? Is it useful? Definitely yes. It helps you a lot. So even before you start writing your script, I would say, think how you will be moving on the stage. Think how that prop can be handled on the stage. That can actually refine your statements. That can refine your lines in the speech. It can help you to a greater extent. You will become a movie artist than being a mere speaker. This is my view on that. And how much is too much? I don't know how to answer that question, Arunmoli, because it is largely dependent on how that prop is helping you, how that prop is helping you, how that stage movement is helping you. Like I remember 2016, I used this punching dot. Like you punch it, it goes down and comes back. People never remembered my title. They didn't remember my title. They remembered me as the doll guy, like the boy. I mean, back then I was a boy. The speaker who came with the doll speech is what they said, and I was okay with that. The result was also pleasing. So that's why I say I don't know how much is too much in that. Probably as a good noble gesture, I can say uh, people should still remember your topic along with the prop you use. In that case, it is at the right level. I believe. Like, personally, I'm actually okay with overdoing. It will still help with the audience getting glued to your speech.
So thank you so much. I remember when I was in school, there was a teacher who used to say, Adchana par, Adchana par. And suddenly she started bringing a cane to the class. That is the visual prop. And I still remember the cane was so long. Satyama adi vaangna, adichana paakave mudiyadu. So that is the impact a prop can really bring to the people. So there's one more question that is there in people's mind. Quickly, if you all can give 2 do's and 2 don'ts for an ISC contest. Very brief, 30 seconds each. 2 do's, 2 don'ts, and I'm starting with Shyam this time.
Very bad. Okay. Do's, believe. Believe more of yourself. Number two, rehearse more. Rehearse more. Don'ts. Don't get carried away by too much of evaluation. Number two, don't over practice. So I summarize, believe. Believe in your delivery, believe in yourself. That's number one. Rehearse enough number of times. That's number two. Don'ts, don't get carried away by too much of evaluation. Number two, don't over practice because you will become mechanical on stage. The idea about ISC is to see the natural you on stage. You will not be the natural you when you over practice. That's why I said that point number two. Time disqualified, I believe. Back to you, Arun.
Thank you so much. Now, Karthik, what is your take on both the subjects?
One is content has to be simple. And the second thing, visualize your script. When you, this one I always say it in education session. When you are ready with your script, final script, have voice record it and listen to it. Imagine yourself, you are delivering the speech in the stage. So visualize, you've been there, done that. That's the feeling you'll have when you have visualization. And on don't wait till the end of the club contest to write the script. Maybe that is one thing I always do. It is not the right message. It is not the right message. So still next week is my contest. I have not written my script yet. I have something in my mind, but I have not put it in paper. So don't wait till the end and don't satisfy and with your script, fine tune it. You chisel it till the uh, day of the contest, maybe day before the contest.
So, Selva, what is your take on these two?
Arunmoli, in fact, I believe in three do's for preparing for an international speech contest. The first one is validate the relatability of the content. Visualize your success with that speech. That would be the second do. And to do justice to that visualization, prepare. So these are the 3 do's that I would like to bring to the screen today. And in terms of don'ts, don't get carried away by feedback from multiple sources. Please be very cautious in filtering and taking the right feedback. And a few of my friends in Toastmasters have told me this, that they don't, I mean, they prepare for their speech in the form of just having the thoughts in their mind, but they don't transfer those thoughts from their mind to the paper, to the script in the form of a script. Script the speech, that is very important, because there is something called power of articulation. When you start writing it down, when you start penning it down, and when you start being vocal about it to yourself, that is when you get a better version of the speech. So put it in black and white. That's very essential.
Thank you so much, Selva. So quickly to summarize the do's, there were 7 do's. Believe more in yourself, rehearse enough. There should be a simple content, visualize your script, voice record and listen so that you can be able to visualize and articulate what you want to say. The same validate your content, visualize success on the stage. And to visualize this, you have to prepare. So this is what the do's were. The don't is don't get carried away by evaluations. Don't over practice. Don't wait till the end of the club contest for you to prepare. Don't be happy with the script. Chisel your script as much as you can. Don't be carried away from multiple feedbacks. Don't have a script in your mind. Put it in black and white. These were the do's and don'ts. I have one final question, and due to lack of time, I'm going to wrap it up with this final question. My question is, we've seen you all perform in district stage. When are we going to move from this stage and make one person or that first person to be the world champion of public speaking? What do you think is lacking in us to go from this stage to the bigger stage? I'll start with Shyam this time. Shyam, what is your opinion here?
I mean, there should be a lot of disclaimers before I say this. Okay. The answer is there is no answer. The answer is no. I don't know. But I'm happy that a question has been raised. I've always felt that somebody had to put up this question. When are we going to think about the international stage? Now, this thought has to be rooted in all the minds of Toastmasters in Tamil Nadu so that it reflects at the club level contest that we conduct. It reflects at the district level contest that we conduct. It reflects in our daily meetings, I mean, week on week meetings. It reflects in our OTPs. It reflects in our JTPs, everywhere. So if we start all these meetings with this question, when are we going to hit the international stage? I think together we will condense and arrive at an answer to this question. Otherwise, giving an answer now may not be very logical. You know very well, at the district stage, the performer on stage, the contestant who is performing on the stage is not performing at the district stage. He is performing for the quarterfinals, regional quarterfinals, because he does not get another separate stage to perform there. This speech will be video recorded and sent there. So performing at the district stage is not performing at the district stage, it is performing at the regional quarterfinals. So this awareness among everybody, slowly, step by step, will take us to that answer, I believe, Arunmoli. Sorry if I had been very superficial in my answer.
No, I understand your perspective, because we wanted to actually District 120 is looking forward for this kind of an answer from people so that people get motivated and they try to we brainstorm and figure out an answer. I'm not trying to look at an answer per se right now, but what is your take on this kind of a question is what I'm trying to understand. Karthik, I'd like to hear your opinion quickly before we open the questions for the audience.
Maybe even I would say, I don't know if the same thing, the director, if we knows, right, will give the hit. But only thing I used to get feedback from people is maybe I'm not sure. When I got to know about Silva and Shyam's speech, maybe most of the time, it is universal, and people say it is not universal. but I don't know, maybe some of the feedback I receive from people, it is not universal. Our speech is not universal. Maybe that one thing we need to ponder upon. But for me, it is universal, but I don't know why others are feeling it is not universal.
Thank you, Karthik. We'll have to brainstorm on what is universality in this perspective. So, Selva, what is your opinion on this one?
My thoughts on this question is I would echo Sham's perspective on this, but just giving an additional perspective which I felt. See, the club level, area level, division level, and the district level contests are something that we get to witness. We interact with fellow members to take immediate feedback on the delivery that we presented on the stage, on the speech that we delivered on the stage. Probably that would help us to a greater extent, and upon filtration, certain feedback can be parked for a while. But at the region quarterfinals, I don't think we are able to get the feedback that we usually receive from the audience perspective at that level. Probably if we are able to get an opportunity to receive such feedback at that level, we may start focusing on working on those aspects as well. Now, when we get those feedback, the time we spend or the time we invest in preparing for the successive levels would be more. It starts from the club meetings, it starts from the club contests, OTP, JTPs, and the district contest even. So the feedback is something that we would require, is what I believe in.
Thank you so much, Selva. My question, my say would be, henceforth start giving educational sessions on how to take it to the next stage. Who will take it to the next stage? I think it is going to be a surprise element for all of us. With that, I'll open the floor for questions. I have one question which I took note of from Vinodini Vijayakumar. What is your purpose of joining Toastmasters, and has the purpose evolved? What do you want to do from here? So there are three parts to the question. I want all three of you to answer this quickly. We'll start with Karthik.
So purpose of joining Toastmasters is pretty simple for me. If you want me to jump out of the train by 2011, I'll be ready to do it. If you want me to speak in English, no, I'm not. Okay. I studied in English medium, but everything in Tamil. I'll not be able to articulate what is in my mind. I go fumble and sulk and then come back. So I felt Toastmaster is a platform where every day you go and practice, and there is an incremental improvement on your communication. So that is one thing. That is the only reason I joined Toastmasters. But after joining Toastmasters, the fraternity, the kind of people you get inspired by, so that is keeping me going. And I'm part of quality. Okay, my department is quality team. Okay, so achieving that 100% is really tough. Hitting that 95 is easy, and from there that 5% bridging that gap is there, right? That is where fine tuning is happening in Toastmasters. See, if you are in Toastmasters, if you do your CC, say in the past previous levels, like from second project, organize your speech, get to the point, how to say it, body language, vocal variety, you can master public speaking. Why people are still continuing? They are fine tuning that 5%. That is what I believe. That is why I'm still continuing. We are fine tuning ourselves. That's it.
Thank you so much, Karthik. So now you should not jump out of trains anymore, because I think you have to get over that syndrome. You are a very versatile speaker, and from what we see is the transformation that you showed in your speeches should be motivating others to take up more challenges and forget about jumping out of trains. So, Selva, what is your take on this one?
When someone talks to you about something continuously and consistently, sharing laurels about it, sharing the experiences about it, even before you meet that person or even before you see that something, you kind of develop a curiosity or interest towards that someone or something, right? To me, Toastmasters happened that way. When Shamraj spoke a lot about Toastmasters to me, even before I joined Toastmasters. So that was how my journey started with Toastmasters. And now sustaining the interest and continuing with Toastmasters, as I told you as an answer to one of my earlier questions, when a speech script goes through 10 to 12 levels of evolution, of upgrades, imagine the upgrade that can happen to an individual. And I'm able to experience and feel that on a day in and day out basis. So my start was because of curiosity, and my sustenance in the fraternity is because of my experience in upgrading myself.
Thank you, Selva. I can understand when you say upgradation. So this is Selva version we don't know. That is the point that we are trying to deliver here. Because we never knew where we started, so we don't know what level is Selva right now. But this is the transformation that everybody can have. And Sham, what is your take on this one?
I loved public speaking even when I was a kid. And back there at school, like we are one among the very few members who had that interest and love towards speaking. I wanted to find more people who had that love for public speaking. And I believe Toastmasters is the world's best platform where you find people with that amount of love towards speaking. And here, exercise is not exercise. We enjoy this process of learning and practicing public speaking in a methodical, professional, and yes, a very friendly way. So that's what I believe is the reason for me to be a Toastmaster. And that's what I would keep getting day in and day out from Toastmasters. See, we have been speaking about public speaking for 2 hours in a Sunday evening. That's what Toastmasters can give to us. Where else
Thank you.
would we get?
Yes, thank you so much, Sham. I can relate when you say it is like saying Yenni Nanamadani. That is the kind of vibes that you kind of have with Toastmasters. Otherwise, Sunday evening, 7 to 9, I don't think so anybody with little amount of sanity will spare. So one of them have asked, Mohini Ramalingam. Mohini ma'am has asked, can you validate the point, can you explain, validate the relatability? This was answered by Selva, so I'm pointing it out to Selva. Can you elaborate a little more on this one? Can you validate what do you mean by relatability of content?
So what I intend to share is whenever I prepare for my speeches, club level meetings, as well as for the contests, my content should be attractive or relatable to the masses. The maximum number of audience should be covered with my content and they should feel connected. And that is what I mean by relatability. And how can I validate this relatability? By talking to a few non-Toastmasters, by checking, has this situation ever happened to you? Will you be able to accept if I mention this as the moral of the incident that I have narrated? And wherever you experienced an emotion, please tell me that so that I'll be able to work on it accordingly. So these are the questions. These are a few questions that I would post them so that they would be able to give me responses for me to validate the magnitude of relatability of the content that I have.
Thank you so much. I think Mohini ma'am, you had an answer for this one. And the next question is, in ISC, how can we pull the curiosity of knowing what till the end? I think they're asking if you can have the curiosity till the end until you reveal that suspense moment. So can you quickly answer with an example of how can you make it till the end? So I'll start with Sham here.
Is it not like solving a riddle? You post a question and the answer comes at the end, and you help them through the 5 to 7 minutes in answering that question. And finally, you reveal the answer. Like you become a teacher of mathematics, you are solving that problem for them, and finally you say LHS is equal to RHS. I presented a speech which had this title, When the First Impression Fails. When the first impression fails. Okay, what do I do? Listen to the speech, I'll tell you at the end. So Selva had this mango juice on the table. Why does he have this mango juice on the table? Even at the beginning, uh, uh, even at the beginning, he doesn't go to this mango juice. The glass is still on the table. Midway through the speech, he goes to the table. Naturally, people stay with him till the end until he says why uh, uh, he wanted to use that prop to convey that extra care is required for everyone. Naturally, when you throw questions here and there on the stage, the curiosity is there until you answer your questions. Question and answer, question and answer. That I believe is the simple trick to maintain the curiosity. Have the answers at the end.
Sorry, you made.
Thank you, Shyam. Karthik, would you like to add on something to this?
No, Arun. I second Shyam.
Selva, would you like to add something to it?
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, one question from Toastmaster Satya Jayaraman. Usually we say know your audience while giving your speech. So we frame our speech for the district, which is Tamil Nadu audience. If this is the case, the judges who validate the winners of the district, sorry, I went too fast.
And you lose the quarterfinal. So that's what he was saying. You relate for district and then you will
Correct.
win the district and you will not be able to connect. And if you connect to the international audience, you will lose this district. You will not place top 3. That's what he was catch 22. That's what he was mentioning.
Yes.
He's not asking question. Maybe that is his thought.
So what is your take on this? If you can align your speech, I think that is a point about universality that we are talking
Yes.
about.
Maybe this is one of the guy used to tell me, right? Do you think it is universal? He always asks this question. Do you think it is universal?
So, okay. There's one more question. This question is to Shyam. When I see some championship speeches, they are plain and simple. Fellow Toastmaster. I think I'm losing the question again, please. Okay.
Fellow Toastmasters said the
Yeah.
speeches
Fellow
will not
Toastmasters.
qualify in my club. That's
Yeah.
what.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead,
Vijay.
go ahead,
Please
Vijay.
go ahead.
Thank you, Armori. Hi, Sham. I wrote the question. So we have seen a lot of championship speeches where they are plain and simple. When I was witnessing one such championship speech, a fellow Toastmaster said, "This will not even qualify in my club, Vijay." That speech did not have humor. It did not have a prop. It was a world championship winning speech. In Tamil Nadu, are we doing it too much commercial, Sham? Are we adding humor on purpose? Are we doing this stage and everything a bit too much? Are we making it commercial?
Now, this comes as an extended answer to this previous question from Satya. Now, why should, I mean, this fellow Toastmaster who gave you that remark is from Tamil Nadu, am I right, Viji?
Yes, yes.
And that fellow Toastmaster can be a judge in the district contest, am I right, Viji?
Yes.
So, I cannot present a plain and simple speech to that guy and expect to qualify the district level. To that person, having the commercial elements will be the formula for winning the district level. Am I right? And beyond that, after that, at the regional quarterfinals, at the semifinals, at the finals, that plain simple speech has won. That plain simple speech has won. Now we together, District 120 needs that experience. We need that international experience where we also will deliver plain simple speeches and get good results for that. We also would get this feedback that the speech was fine. So that's why earlier, like all of us were discussing, when will we produce an international champion is not a question that we post only to contestants or a few people alone. It's a question that we put to all of us. When the audience also stay on the same page, when the judges also stay on the same page, when the contestants also stay on the same page, there will be one answer to that question. Now, when we have multiple answers, there will be multiple results. Did I answer, Vijay? We are subjected to commercialize that script because that commercial element by the end of the day wins. Say, assume that 4 contestants make it plain and simple because they believe it has to go to the international arena. And assume that 4 contestants make it commercial. What is the higher probability of winning. If the commercial element wins, this part will never go through. This part will never move to the next stage. So the reason for making it commercial may be, for most of the contestants, should be that my audience demands that. My audience gets attracted to that. Public speaking in this part of the world is defined this way. Public speaking in that part of the world is something else. So I'm dancing to this club now, something like that.
Thank you so much, Shyam. Vijay, hope you had an answer to the question.
Yes, Anumari. Thank you. Thank you, Shim.
Any further questions from the audience? Okay, Archana, I've unmuted you. You can ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hi, sir. See, this is a common question. I just wanted to understand. Whenever I get into a competition, like even if it be a club or anything, when I get into a competition, I wonder where to start. Now I heard it from one of the panelists telling me that when we start writing journals, we'll get number of stories. See, there is where the confusion starts as well. We will not end up with a short thing, with a short story or a short title or where to start with. Can we get it from any one of you telling us how long should we take to prepare? See, it is not just the club contest is announced and I'm going to prepare. It can be 1 year or even before 6 months I can start. So what would be the right time for me to start writing my script, to finalize my script even before I practice doing it?
So maybe Karthik, can you take this question?
Now, with respect to the preparation, when to start, I don't have the answer. If you ask me, next week is my contest. I have not penned down my script, still in my head. Okay. But when you are done with your script, the practice level has to be very vigorous. So that's what I would say. And on the journal part, right? When you write journal, doesn't mean that you're going to take that simple thing and you are going to put it as a content. So you will fine tune, you will bring scenarios to it, right? So it is maybe one example, both the stories which I gave in my speech, a simple example what I learned from my friend, and that is what I was trying to convey. But you will add elements to it, like you run towards the rainbow where there is a golden pot is not there. So these are all elements you add to it. It is not
Okay.
that simple thing you take it and put it in the content. You will fine tune. That's what happens from the journal simple concept to the contest speech.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Karthik.
Okay, sir.
Shyam,
Thank
would
you
you
so
like to add on something to it?
No, I mean, pretty much the same. Like preparation, like as much as it can keep you comfortable.
Okay.
Very powerful world champions have said that even when you don't sit with a script, you're actually preparing for your speech. When you are thinking about the speech, you are preparing. When you're thinking about the stage, you are preparing. The more you think about the speech, you are actually preparing. So Karthik wins the contest because though he might not have penned down a script, he is thinking about that stage. He's thinking about that contest so many times. So when he sits down, it's just a half an hour or 2 hour work for him. So keep thinking, like you don't need the announcement of the club contest date to start preparing. You are already preparing. Now everybody who has attended this session today are preparing already.
Nice perspective. Thank you,
Thank you,
Shyam.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Selva, would you like to add on something?
I completely echo the thoughts shared by Karthik and Shyam.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there any further questions? Are there any further questions from the group? Would anyone want to ask anything?
Just like district elections, you're saying, are there any further nomination?
So one question from me, how important is humor in an ISC contest? Any of you can answer. I'm opening it to any of you.
No, that lightens up the audience. So maybe I'll always prefer have some humor in the speech because it It's easy way to it's like a catalyst for you to connect with audience quick.
Okay. Slightly varying that question to Sham. What if somebody says, I'm not a humorous speaker, but I still want to add humor? Will I sound artificial on stage?
Was that to me? I'm sorry, there was a bit of signal loss. Was that to
Yes,
me?
yes, Sham. Yes, Sham.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My
I'm
question
sorry. Okay,
was,
okay. I got it. I got
yeah,
the
okay.
question. Maybe
Thank
the
you.
first, yeah, I mean, all humorous speakers initially said they are not humorous. There is nobody who came up to the stage and said, you know what, I can crack jokes very well on stage. So to everybody in the world, you can be humorous. Everybody can be humorous. Everybody can be emotional. When the need comes, you will be that. So it's only about finding the need. Uh, you don't need to set the audience on fire with laughter. A subtle joke which can carry you from this point to the next point in the speech is humor, is still humor. And to me, humor is as important as the prop and the stage usage that we were talking about a few minutes ago. It is a tool that can help us, it will ease our job.
Thank you so much, Sham. Selva, one slight modification to the same question. When I crack humor, what if I also laugh along with the audience? Is that okay in an ISC script?
Um, See, as a speaker on stage, you are a service provider, not the recipient of the service. Let the service recipients enjoy it completely, is what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you, Selva. One last question. I thought this question is very important for people. All ISC speeches are persuasive speeches with a call to action. But how do you ensure that the script or the message is not too preachy to the audience? Uh, Maybe Selva, can you start for this one?
Can you rephrase that question once again, Arunmozhi?
Okay, all ISC speeches are in one way or the other persuasive speeches with a message and a strong call to action. One liner call to action at least is there. But how do I ensure that I don't get preachy while delivering an ISC content, ISC speech with a call to action?
I follow a framework in delivering a speech. Let me use the first 5 to 5.5 minutes of my time that is allocated to me to get the audience attention and convey my story. And the remaining 1.5 minutes to present my message and give them the call to action. This is the framework with which I prepare my speeches. And while preparing with this framework, I have this thought in mind always: say more with less. Use limited number of words, use limited number of sentences, use lesser time so that you can convey the message with a greater impact. Now, adhering to this principle and the framework um, helps me to ensure that I'm not being preachy about the message of my speech. So this is something that I follow and that has worked out for me. But probably there might be other formulas that would also lend a hand while delivering and while preparing and delivering a speech.
Thank you, Selva. Well, Karthik, would you like to add on something? Do you have something here?
Maybe one thing I would say is like when I write my script, which has to be part of me, right? Like anything which I deliver on the stage, I already started practicing, or it has helped me in improving, or that is what I try to do. And I'll give the audience, don't go, you have to do it. That's I'm not doing there. Okay. So this is what happened before, and this is the realization, and this is what I'm practicing. So this is helping me. That is the message I'm leaving. So I'm not saying you have to implement, you have to do it, nothing. And it has now, if you see in the recent past, it has transformed. All the speakers are not coming and doing preachy thing. All they do is, this is my failure, or this is my problem, and this is the lesson I had, and this is the transformation I have. That's what people do in the stage. Maybe one of the best speech I say is, I don't know whether people can connect to it or not. The Flat Tire Changed My Life by Prasyan Vasilov. Nothing there if you see in that speech, but simple flat tire changed my life with a reach out. He said, I reached out, it helped me. And there may be some limitation. Maybe he's not saying you go and reach out. See, that helped me. That is the one thing we can try.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you so much. Sham, with your answer, we are wrapping up. So what is your take on this one?
See, we definitely may have to be persuasive with an ISC speech. So follow the concept of story writers. What do all these parables say to us? What do all these fables, short stories tell us? There are characters, there are twists and turns in the story, there is a long content. The moral is just one line at the end. The moral in different ways is iterated within the story only once or twice. Moral comes at the end in one line. Honesty is the best policy. And it doesn't sound preachy as much as it comes towards the end and as much as it comes in a brief style. Follow the story way of speaking, you wouldn't sound preachy. I feel so.
Thank you so much, Sham. My special thanks to all the three panelists, Toastmaster Selvarajan, distinguished Toastmaster Karthik Mohandas, and Toastmaster Shamraj. It was a wonderful session to have all three of you talk on various aspects of ISC contesting and your experience, which I'm sure would help so many people. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'd like to give the virtual stage back to the TLI chair, Abdul Hadi. Thank you so much for having me as the moderator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anmori. A big round of applause to the moderator and also all the three panelists who joined us today. For the past 2 hours, we had so many insights and learning from you all. And on a lighter note, you all four can mark the active listening project in your pathways as completed, because I see the level of listening you had. And special kudos to our moderator, Toastmaster Arun, for running an excellent show. Thank you all. With that note, I would like to call today's session an end, and an announcement for the upcoming TLA event. Coming Thursday, we have the Mastering Club Campaigns and Renewals, which will be taken by our club co-director. I wish you all register for that event and get benefited. Thank you, and I'll open the meeting for networking, and I'll stop the recording.
Thank you.